Ready to lose the hat and regrow the hair? With Choose by Hims, you can regain your hair and your... Choose by Hims, you can regain your hair and your...
Check. Mic check. Mic check. Good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm not gonna be before you long. For those that's here live or watching the replay and you've never seen a lunchtime lesson, I'd like to welcome you to, well, first of all, back up. Good afternoon. If this is first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, please allow me to say welcome. If it's not the first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, I still want to say welcome, but give you a nice hearty, well, thank you for always tuning in to Tim's Tidbits. If you don't know who I am, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr., aka Aranya Grande, and you are now in tune to another episode of the Lunchtime Lessons. Yeah, man, lunchtime lessons, man. This typically I used to do the lunchtime lesson, and I would be talking about something dealing with price action, right? Let me get myself right. Share the screen. A lunchtime lesson. You go. Let me get my finger in the screen. Can I get my finger in the screen? Did I move? Yeah, there you go. Lunchtime lesson. And get my finger in the screen. Hey, but what I want to do today, instead of just talking about price action, because I know the realm of prop firms is very enticing, right, for traders. I used to be a trader who, didn't like, prop firms wasn't my thing, back in the day. I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, this stupid prop firms, they were not my thing back in the day. But now I trade prop firms. I've traded with Apex. That's the one that I trade with. A lot of people hate Apex, a lot of people, but that's neither here nor there. What we are talking about today is an Apex payout rule that's not so quite like what I said. I said an Apex payout request rule that's not so well known, right? Not so. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I wish I could remember who the person was. I saw a video a long time ago, right? And a person was talking about this rule. This freaking thing, I see a commercial popping up. I see a commercial popping up. Y'all hold on. This is pissing me off. I don't like when the commercials be popping up when I'm live. I'm gonna go in there and try to see if I can turn them all the way off. I got it set. I had it set on conservative, but I ain't been on here 5 minutes. And it's a commercial already popped up. Y'all hold on for a second, man. Sick good. How y'all be dealing with that, man? That don't be driving y'all crazy when the commercials be popping up. When I be live. And now it must be hear me talking because it's like buffering now. It won't let me get to a spot where I need to go. There it is. Data is currently unavailable for some videos. As a result, the display they must have heard me talk about doing it. Okay. Let me see. Let me turn this off. Save. All right. All right. I turned the monetization off. Right. I've turned it back on later. Right. If anybody come, cause I can't stand them doggone commercials. All right. Now, like I was saying, I saw a video a long time ago and somebody put me on to it, right? I oosed up on the video. And this is something that's not very well known. I talked about it before, and I want to talk about it again today because I just shared with the gang, right? Let me get my what's name together. Real quick. Yes, that's it right there. I want to make sure that was on the desktop before I started. Let me share my screen. And because my mama gonna be calling in a few minutes and she gonna be like, boy, you know I was calling. What you doing on that live? My mama don't sound like that for real, y'all. All right. So this is what we talk about. Y'all already know what we talk about. All right, let me open up this right here because I'm gonna have to use this. I'm gonna try to figure out how to do I'm gonna try to figure out how to put the information in there so I can show it. Um and what I'm about to explain to y'all. All right. Now I shared this with the gang. All right, let me open this up. All right. This here. How do you okay. Right. Y'all see this right here? If you don't know what this is, right? In Apex, now the common rules. Let's go see if we can find the Apex rules that's easy to know. And let me see. Let's go see if we can find the rules that's easy to know. And then I'm gonna tell you all about this one that I spoke about it before, but see facts. Go to facts. Payouts. Oh, I'm tripping. Why y'all didn't tell me I had it on the wrong screen? What made me notice I was on the wrong screen is because I was looking that way. And when I got it on the right screen, I'd be looking this way. Okay, so this is walking through how to do it, going over there, hitting payout method. I mean, request a payout, right? Going through there, and all right. See, according to the in order to request your first payout, you must have a total of 8 separate individual trading days which you place trades. So 8 days, that's something that's known. This is like really stretched out. This is really stretched out. I wish I had like the condensed version that just show you what all it needs. Trade is entitled to 125%. They are paid 90. Okay, you may request to receive a payout every 8 days, right? Trading day ends. Approval does not mean payment has been sent. Payment, okay. So 8 trading days, 8 separate trading days. They got it's something in there. This still ain't the it's something about $50 a day. That's the one I'm looking for, where you can see like all the stuff that's easy, but I don't know exactly how to get to it right now. Like when I be this taking up my time, and my mom gonna be calling in a minute. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, those are the things. Is and it's so 8 trading days. On 5 of the 8 trading days, it's got to be at $50 or more, and you got to have 30% consistency. That's like the overall gist. That's what's well known. That's what is put out there in on Al Gore's internet. Everybody understand that. Everybody know that. Um everybody got that. Everybody got that. That's clear. Okay. Now, what I want to talk about is a a thing that makes a lot of people get denied over and over and over, and they don't know why they being denied, and they start saying Apex is a scam. Apex is this right here. Okay, now remember what we, if you look here, right, you see on April 11th, right, I requested the first payout in this account, right? Let me turn on my fancy dancy. Let me make sure my fancy dancy is on. Right. So you see here on April 11th, right? It says I requested the first, it's a payout number, right? This is the account. I got the account block number blocked out. Don't worry about all the blue stuff down there, y'all. They ain't none of your business, right? Don't worry. Everything that's covered up in blue ain't none of your business, right? So on April 11th, you see I requested a payout for $500, right? That was the first request I paid, I requested in this account right here, right? Payout number 1. That's the first one I requested in this account. I requested for $500. You see, I traded. It said I traded for 23 days. That means 23 separate days I had been trading in this account, and then I requested $500, right? And you see right here it says denied. Right now, let's get into why it says denied. Right, this is the second time I ever been denied from Apex. Right, and both times I've been denied, it was because of the 30% consistency rule. Right, The first time I got denied, I knew I was going to get denied, but I was just hoping that it'll slip through the cracks, right? The second time I got denied, which was on the 11th, right? I didn't expect to get denied. And because I keep this sheet right here tracking, and I'm going to show you what happened to me. All right. So I traded for like 20 something days. Now, why did I trade 20 something days? Because when you first get the account, you got to get above the threshold. I do 25, I do the 25K accounts. Those are the ones that I do, right? So with a 25K account, you got to get to 16.6. You got to get 16.6, 1606. Let me see. So the 25K accounts, right? To pass it, you got to make 1,500, right? Which is 26.5, right? You got to get 1,600. So, but in the PA account, to get to the funded status, it's got to be 1,500 plus 100, right? 1,500 plus 100, right? So you got to get a 26.6 in order to qualify for a payout. So now you got to get a 26.6 in a 25,000 account. You got to figure out the numbers for all of them. So you got to get to the threshold, right? You got to have at least 8 trading days, and you got to have a consistency of 30%, right? So over those 23 days, I got up to 27 something. It was like 27 something that I got up to, right? So over those, and we're just going to say for easy math, we're going to say I got up to 27,000 for any easy math, because it was 27,000 plus, right, that I had got up to. And so so that means I'm so open it up. So 27 minus 25,000, right? So I got $2,000, right? I got $2,000 worth of P&L. Right now, with Apex, right now, this is a well-known one too. This is a well-known rule. If you're in the first 4 payouts, first 4 months, if you've in the first 4 months of payouts, you can only request, right, up to $1,500, but you have to have enough. You got to have at least 2,500 in P&L in order to request the whole 1,500. And why is that? Because you can only dig into the buffer up to $500. The minimum you can request is 500, right? So if you are right at the threshold of 26.6, right, you can request 500, right? But now you're going to be at 26.1. So you're under the threshold again, right? So in order to make another request, you got to trade another 8 days and get back above 26. You got to get back to 26.6 in order to meet the threshold, right? So because you can dig into that buffer up to $500, right? So if you want to request 1,500 at the gate from the beginning of your first request, right, you need to have 27.6 in your account. That's 2,500 above the 25,000, right? Because you got to have that extra $100, right? Because you can't dig down into the buffer, right? So you got to have, you know what I'm saying, that extra, you got to have that extra 1,000 that you want on top of the buffer thing, right? So if you want to take out 1,500, you got to be at like 26.6. I mean 27.6 to take out the 1,500. Okay, that's a well-known thing, right? Now, or that might not be so well known, but you can't go make it to 26.6 and request 1,500. You can't make the 26.6 and request 1,000. You can make, if you get the 26.6 and you want to take your money, you only can request 500, right? Because you can only dig into that buffer up to $500. Okay, that might not be well known. I'm just putting that out there just in case. Now, going back to me, right? We're just gonna, I'm gonna try to throw in some numbers here and see if I can make this make sense. I'm gonna see if I can make this make sense. I'm just throwing in some fake numbers. All right. So, okay, there we go. All right. Now, let me try to see if I can make this do right. All right. Let me see if I can make this do right. Minus, let's see, how much to balance, how much missing to, so 20, it's saying 2,800. So I'm putting minus 2,900 right here. Okay, boom. All right, I got it. Okay. Now, I just say these numbers ain't real. I'm just doing this to make it make sense because I said it was 23 days, right? So I got all this right here. You see how this consistency says yes, right? So I done did all these days. I'm above my matter of fact, let me do it like this right here so it can make sense. So people can understand what I'm saying. See, 27,000 divided by, I mean, not 27,000. 2,000 divided by 20. Okay. All right. So I'm put 100. No, I'll put 400. Right. So 16. Y'all like, what is he doing? 1,600 divided by 80. All right. Okay, now I got it. All right, so you see down here, right? These my 20-some days. Now I made up this fake thing here. So 22 days I've been trading, right? And this ain't exactly how it happened, but I'm just doing this to do it, right? So my consistency says yes, right? You see down here, it says that I got $2,400 in P&L, right? So the 23rd day, it wasn't the 23rd day, but it was one day during these 23s. I had a spiral day. I spiraled. I was fighting the market, and I had a spiral day. I had a big down day. Okay. Now, if you look at all the day, you see over here, there's no, I ain't saying I ain't have a losing day, but if you see here, there's no losing trades in here at all, right? And it says my consistency is met, and I'm over the threshold. I got 2,400. All I needed was 1,600 to be over the threshold, right? And now I'm gonna put in that spiral date. right? Put in a spiral day, and now you see it says that I have 1,700, right? I got 17. Let me blow it up big so y'all can see it, right? Blow it up big so y'all can see it. It says I have 1,700 in P&L. I'm over the amount. I got 23 days, right? I'm over the amount of days. But because of that big spiral day, I'm not meeting the consistency, right? And this ain't the hit, this ain't the rule. This ain't the rule, but I'm just putting this out there so you'll know I didn't. And this is why I got denied, right? This is why I got denied, because I didn't meet the consistency, because one spiral day, the loss was so big that it made, you see this $600 day up here, it made that $600 day be big, more than 30% of 1,700. You see what I'm saying? I got 1,700. So because I got this big loss day, this total of 1,700, that $600 day is more than 30% of 1,700. So I can't request, they denied the request of $500 because I didn't meet the consistency rule. Once I went back and looked at my spreadsheet, I said, you know what, Tim? You sure enough did. You didn't meet the because it said no over there, Broad as Stuttgart on my consistency. It said no, Broad as Stuttgart. That was on me. I shouldn't have requested it until I got this back to saying yes. Okay. Now, let's do this right here. Okay. This is the not so known rule right here. This is the not so known rule. Okay, so now when they denied me, I had $1,700 in P&L. Okay, $1,700 in P&L. So now we're going to come over here to a new sheet, right? We're going to come over here to a new sheet, and we're going to say equals 1,700 plus whatever's down here. All right. We're coming to a new sheet. So when I start out, when I start out the trading, the new trading cycle after getting denied, right? When I start out the new trading cycle after getting denied, now I have to be, let me see. I got to be above 26.6, right? Let's put this in here. Let's put the 25,000 in there. 25,000 plus. All right. So now I got 26.7. So I'm already above the threshold, right? But now what do I need? I need 8 trading days that meets the 30% consistency rule. Okay. Now, in the 8 trading days that I did, right? In the 8 trading days that I did, I made like 1,282. I want to say it was. I think it was 1,282. So for easy math, we're just going to say 1,200 divided by 8, right? So that's 150, right? I know I had one losing, one red day, right? And it was like a $50 red day, right? So we're going to put 200 to.
It's out on the clock, Tim.
Okay, I'm about to get off, y'all. In a second. I'm just gonna do it easy. What I said, it was 150. 150 times 8. I'm gonna do it for easy math. Just make it look like it was perfect. Boom. 150 times 8. Okay. Now, y'all see this here? It says yes on consistency, right? You see down there, it says I got $1,200 currently in this 8-day trading cycle. This is the unknown rule. This is the very important part, right? You see how much it says I have? It says I got 27,900, right? 27,900. In this trading cycle, right? In this trading cycle, I only made $1,200, right? I cannot request any money from these denied funds right here until I get an approval. This is the not so known rule. Let me repeat it. In this new trading cycle where I started with $1,700 worth of profit, right? I made $1,200. For my second payout, I am allowed to request up to $1,500. But because I only made $1,200 in this new trading cycle, immediately after being denied, these $1,700 are a part of a pool of money where I broke a rule. So I can't request any of this $1,700 until I get an approved payout. Once I get an approved payout that wipes the slate clean, and then I can request some of this $1,700. Y'all follow what I'm saying? I can request some of this 17 once I get an approved payout. So that's why for this payout request, even though I had 27,900 in there, and if I request, right, so let's put in there 27,900, if I request 1,500, right, that'll bring me down to 26,400. And you like, Tim, well, that's only $200 eaten into that buffer, right? That's not even the 500 that you can eat. Because remember, I can eat into the buffer up to 500. I can take it down to 26,100, right? But those $200 would be coming from, well, yeah, those extra $200 to make the extra $300. I'm sorry. Those extra $300 would be coming from out of these $1,700 that's tied to a broken rule. So that's why I only requested $1,200. And you can see I requested it on the 29th. And you can see now it says approved. Today is the 30th. It says approved. I requested it yesterday and they approved it today because I only requested the money that was inside this new 8-day cycle. But now that I have gotten approved on my next 8-day cycle, let's just say on my next 8-day cycle, right? 27,900 minus 1,200, right? So now I got 26,700 in there right now. So I'm $200 over the buffer, right? So let's just say on my next 8-day cycle, right, I make $1,000, right? Plus 1,000. Now I can request the 1,500, and that'll bring me down to 26,200. It only puts me $400 under. It's only eating into the zone by $400, but the request will get approved because I have gotten an approved payout. So now that $1,700 that was tied to a broken rule, that broken rule has been wiped clean with this approved payout, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody, because I'm gonna have to go now because my mama gonna be calling in a second. She probably already called and trying to figure out where I'm at. But hopefully that makes sense to everybody.
When you get a chance after your call or later today, will you just explain how cycles are determined? Because you said 8 days, but that's not always true, right? Just whenever you
Oh, no, yeah, it's always 8 days. It's always the payout cycles for Apex. You have to have 8 separate trading days. 5 of those 8 days has to be, you have to make at least $50, right? And you have to meet 30% consistency within those 8 trading days. And if you're above the threshold, well, first of all, you got to get above the threshold. You got to have at least 8 separate trading days, be consistent, 30% consistency, and 5 of those 8 days, you got to make at least $50. And you can request every 8 days. You can request every 8 days. If you make $100 a day, right, it's gonna take you more than 8 days to get over the threshold. But once you get over the threshold, if you make $100 a day, you can request every 8 days as long as you're 30% consistent in those 8 days.
Okay. And 8-day cycle, 5 days have to be greater than or equal to $50. Okay.
Yes.
And
Yes.
8 days are not necessarily consecutive.
No, it's just eight separate days, 8 separate trade. You can trade once a week. You trade once a week and take 8 weeks, and to get 8 days is 8 separate trading days.
Okay.
Like if you trade in the Asian session, and then you wake up the next morning and trade in New York, that's still one day. That's still one trading day. You know what I'm saying? But if you trade in the New York session and then later on that night you trade in the Asian session, that's 2 separate trading days. Because it's, you know what I'm saying, like the Asian session start a new day. Right. So
once that 1800 hours hit, new day.
That's a new day.
Okay.
Right. That's a new day. So you got to make sure you're trading inside separate days. And then you got to remember, like, for if you trade on like a holiday, right? If you trade on a holiday, you can't try to trade on you can't try to trade like that Sunday or that Monday where the holiday is, and then come back and trade on Tuesday, because that's just gonna be one day. Because that, when you have that holiday and it go from like Friday to Tuesday, because Monday it was a holiday, you can't try to trade during that holiday and then say, okay, I traded Sunday and Monday, and then now I'm trading Tuesday. That's 2 days. Nah, that holiday is looped into that one. That's just one day. So that's why I'm gonna bother trading on holidays. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's
thank you.
8 separate days, 30% consistency. 5 of those days got to be at least $50. And you got to be above the threshold, whatever the threshold is for the account size that you got. Right. And if y'all, and I don't know if you could see, if you do the math on the screenshot shared, 31 minus 23, that's 8. I just traded for 8 days and I just requested again. The 23, that's because I was coming from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get above the threshold. You see what I'm saying? Because I had to get at least $1,600 in order to even make it to the to be able to request the payout.
Oh, that was starting from the beginning. So
yes, this was the first. Yeah, see, it say this the payout number. See, it says number 1. That's the first payout I tried in this account, right?
Okay.
And then you see the second payout is only 8 days later, like 31 minus 20 is like, because once it got denied, I was like, okay, and I just traded for 8 days, and then I just requested, but I only requested what I traded for these last 8 days.
So you would, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I wouldn't go into that 1,700 that was tied to a broken rule. But now that I got approved, if I come out here, over the next 8 days, let's just say I do $50 a day, right? $50 a day over 8 days, that's gonna be $400, right? I could request $600. You know what I'm saying? I can request $600. Matter of fact, I can request $900 because I can, it's 5 plus 4. I made 400, and I can dig 5 into the buffer. I can request 900 now. Why? Because I got that 1,700 over there that's no longer tied to a broken rule. You see what I'm saying?
And that 1,700 is above and beyond that buffer you have.
Yes, because the buffer, for the 2,500 account, the buffer is 1,600. You got to make 1,600. That's your buffer, and then you can start requesting. But so I got 1,700. So I'm above the buffer right now. Now I just need the 8 trading days. You see what I'm saying? And now that I got an approval, right? That broken rule is gone. So now if I just made $400 over the next 8 days, I can request $900 because I have $400 above the buffer, and then I can take 500 out to eat into the buffer. I can request $900. I can't request the whole 15. But I can't request 15 because I only have 1,700, and then 400. That's only I don't feel like mathing. That's not enough to request 1,500. I need what I said, 27.6 in order to request the whole 1,500.
Because because that's the buffer plus. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And then once you get payouts over 4 months, they go my mama calling. Once you get payouts over 4 months, then you can take the whole you can take it all the way down to zero. You can take all the money out of the account. You can take it all the way down to
4
zero.
months, the buffer disappears.
No, it don't disappear. The buffer's still there, but you can take out more. You can dig into it more than $500. Like you can get, like, just say if this was like the 4th month I was requesting a payout from this account, right? I could go in and request if I made I'm about to get off in 1 second. If I made my mama said, hey, y'all.
Tell your mama thank you for sharing you for a little bit.
It said, thank you for sharing me for a little bit. Right. So if you get off, if I got 1,700, right? Am I still sharing my screen? 1,700, just say 4 months gone by. And then so 25,000 plus 1,700, right? That means I got 26.7 in there. Then I make $400, right? And this is at this it's 4 months to pass. I've been requesting for it's like so many days, like 100 days, whatever the days is. How many days done passed, right? And I done took at least 4 payouts, right? Now I can go in there and I can go in there and request $2,000 and take the account all the way down to zero. Because you can request as much as you want after those 4 months go by. You can request as much as you want. Like if I go in and 4 months been gone by, and let's just say I got $10,000 in the account, like 25,000 plus 10,000, right? It's up to 35,000, right? I can go in and request $8,000 if I want to, because the 4 months that went by, I ain't restricted to the 1,500 no more. But that's gonna be at the 90-10 split with them. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
All right, I gotta go, y'all. My mom on the line. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully y'all learned something out of it, and y'all enjoy the rest of y'all trading day. It's your boy Timothy Lee Rogers Sr., aka Aranya Grande. Till the next time, y'all be safe out here in these trading streets. Gone, man.